Leo, let me be honest with you right from the start today, November 22nd, something is shifting. And no, it's not just any shift. It's deep. Emotional. Maybe even a little uncomfortable. Because a truth you didn't know you were ready to hear is about to come to the surface. I don't say this lightly. This moment was meant for you. If this video found you today, it's not by chance. You were drawn here for a reason. Not by the algorithm. Not by a fluke. But because something inside you may be quiet, maybe restless, knows it's time to face something you've sensed but never fully seen. You've probably been feeling it, haven't you? That weird tension in the air? That sense that something is coming, but you can't quite name it? That's not your imagination. That's your intuition talking. And today, you're going to start understanding exactly what it's been trying to tell you. Now, I'm not here to give you a fluffy horoscope or throw generic advice at you. That's not what we do here. What I'm offering you is something different. Something real. This is an invitation to step into alignment with the part of you that's been waiting to be seen, not by others, but by yourself. I know you're strong, Leo. That's never been in question. But even the strongest warriors carry old stories, heavy expectations, and emotional armor that they've long outgrown. This is your moment to let go of that weight. To stop pretending that you're fine when inside, there's a storm of questions you haven't had the space to ask. You're not here for surface-level change. You're here for something deeper, a shift in how you see yourself, what you tolerate, and what you believe you're worth. And it all begins with a truth being revealed. One that may challenge your perspective, but also set you free. If something in you is already stirring, good. That means you're listening. Not just to me, but to your own energy. And that's where everything changes. The truth is, you've been walking with this hidden truth for a while, a feeling, a suspicion, a dream you buried. Maybe you dismissed it. Maybe someone else told you it wasn't the right time. But time is exactly what's moving now. Today is not just a date on the calendar. It's a cosmic checkpoint. A turning point you won't forget. And listen, you don't need to figure it all out today. You don't need to have a plan. All you need to do is stay open. Watch. Feel. Let the truth rise, even if it stings. Because when it does, what follows is clarity, and trust me, that clarity will change everything. So, Leo, if your heart is already beating a little faster, stay with me. You're not alone in this. In fact, you are more guided than you know. What you'll hear in the rest of this video might be exactly what your soul has been waiting for. Take a breath. You're safe here. And before we go further, I invite you to ground this moment by leaving a comment below. Tell me, I'm ready to receive the truth I didn't know I needed. Because that simple act of writing it out, that's how you tell the universe you're ready. Let's begin. You're exactly where you're meant to be. When the tower appears in a reading, it doesn't come gently. It shakes the foundation. And Leo, if you've made it this far, something in your world is already trembling, even if only on the inside. This isn't a warning meant to frighten you. It's an invitation to wake up to what you already sense but haven't had the courage to face. Something around you has been pretending to hold firm. Maybe it's a relationship you've been holding on to even when it stopped feeling right. Maybe it's a version of yourself you've outgrown but still wear like armor because it's familiar. Or maybe it's simply the pressure you've buried under the surface, hoping it would dissolve with time. The Tower shows up when things need to break, not to destroy you, but to release you. On November 22nd, as the Sun enters Sagittarius, that energy of truth-telling becomes amplified. Sagittarius doesn't deal in half-truths. It searches, questions, demands clarity. This astrological transit, paired with the Tower, creates a kind of cosmic collision, and when it happens, there's no more room for denial. This isn't about punishment. It's about alignment. About truth rising to the surface because it's time. And yes, it might make you cry. Not because you're falling apart, but because something in you finally gets to exhale after holding it together for so long. In my years of reading for people just like you, the strong ones, the resilient ones, the givers, and the anchors, I've learned something sacred. We don't break because we're weak. We break because the soul no longer wants to carry what's false. The Tower is sacred demolition. It doesn't destroy what's real. It only dismantles what was never meant to last. Right after the Tower in today's spread, Judgment makes an appearance, and that isn't by accident. When something falls away, you're left with a choice. That's what Judgment is, a moment of reckoning. You'll feel it in your chest, that nudge that says, you can't go back to sleep. The question is, will you keep living in delay, in the comfort of what's known? Or will you answer the call to step up, step forward, and become more honest with yourself? And then, after the wreckage, comes the Star. This card doesn't arrive unless healing is already beginning. That's the magic of this process. When you finally let go of what was weighing you down, the light returns. Slowly, yes, gently, but it comes. And it doesn't just patch the wound. It transforms you. You don't return to who you were before. You begin to see yourself clearer. You begin to rebuild, this time with truth, and with deeper peace. This kind of transformation doesn't require grand gestures. It starts with a breath. With honesty. With the courage to say, yes, something in me needs to change. Maybe you've been praying quietly, even if not with words. Maybe in your own way, you've been hoping for a sign that it's okay to stop pretending. Let this moment be your sign. There's a line I return to often: truth sets you free, but first, it might break your heart a little. And that's okay. Because healing starts with truth. Not always comfortable, but always liberating. So I ask you now, not as someone looking at your life from the outside, but as someone who's walked through their own Tower moments and lived to tell the story, if there was a truth at your doorstep, would you open the door? Would you let it in, knowing it might shake you, but ultimately, it would realign your entire life? You already know the answer. That's why you're still here, still reading, still listening. And that is strength. Leo, by now, you've probably already felt it, that strange pull in your gut, that whisper in the back of your mind telling you something's coming. Not a storm, not chaos, but something real. Something that's been quietly orbiting your life, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. And if you're honest with yourself, you've sensed it before. You may not have known the shape or the name of it, but the energy? You've felt that. That's because the universe has been holding a truth for you, not hiding it, but preparing you for when you'd finally be strong enough to see it clearly. There's a strange thing that happens when we think we know what's going on around us. We build routines, interpretations, and even assumptions about people and situations. We say, I know where I stand. I know what's going on. But the truth is, sometimes the universe sees what we don't. And not because we're blind, but because we've been protecting ourselves. Denial, distraction, overthinking, all of these are just ways our system shields us from truths we didn't yet have the tools to process. Until now. That's the heart of this moment, Leo. You're not just learning something new, you're remembering something that, deep down, your intuition already tried to show you. The appearance of the High Priestess in your reading confirms this. She doesn't scream or demand attention. She whispers. She sits in stillness and nudges you to go inward. When she shows up, it's often because what you're looking for isn't out there, it's already within you. It's a truth you've been carrying like a weight, without even realizing its shape. And now it's starting to take form. You may receive this truth in the most unexpected ways. A sudden message that shifts your perspective, a conversation that opens a door you thought was locked forever, or maybe just a moment of stillness where clarity lands without warning. The Ace of Swords appears here to cut through all confusion. It doesn't ease its way in. It slices. It makes things clear painfully, beautifully, undeniably. It brings truth not wrapped in comfort, but in power. And when that truth hits, you may feel disoriented at first. That's okay. It's part of the process. The moon reversed is the final layer of this trifecta, and it's just as important. It's the shedding of illusions, the fog lifting after what felt like a long night of doubt. Think of it like waking up after a dream, except this time, the dream was the life you thought you had control over. And the awakening? That's you remembering your authority, your freedom to choose, your right to change direction. This entire phase is not here to punish you or prove you wrong. It's here to empower you. There is no shame in not knowing. But there's incredible power in being willing to finally see. And I want you to write it down. Claim it. This is how we anchor new energy into our life. Take a moment, right now, and say it with me in writing. I'm ready to receive the truth I didn't know I needed. Because once you declare it, you're not just saying it to the universe, you're saying it to yourself. And that moment of honesty? That's where everything begins to shift. You're not late. You're right on time. Let the truth arrive. Let it shape you. Let it set you free. When the Death card shows up, most people tense up, thinking it's a bad omen. But the truth is, in all the years I've worked with energy, astrology, and the inner human landscape, I've come to understand this card as one of the most liberating messengers in the deck. It doesn't announce the end in the way we fear, it invites the end of what's false. And Leo, I want you to sit with that for a moment. Because this phase you're entering isn't about losing yourself. It's about finally letting go of the version of you that was never truly yours to begin with. The part of you that constantly kept it together for everyone else, the one who smiled when they wanted to scream, who said yes when their whole body whispered no, who showed up strong because there wasn't space to be soft. That version is tired. That version has served its purpose. It helped you survive. But now, it's time to live. And to live fully, that old skin has to fall away. There's something incredibly raw about this kind of transformation. It's not glamorous. You might cry for no reason. You might feel like you don't know who you are anymore. But that's part of the process. Because the truth is, clarity often comes after the crumbling. And Leo, I know you're brave enough to crumble when it's time. You've walked through fire before. But this time, the fire isn't here to burn you. It's here to burn away the mask. Astrologically, this season is pressing right into the fourth house, the space of home, family, and emotional truth. The sun shining there brings light into the roots of who you are. It's as if the universe is turning on a flashlight in your foundation and asking, is this structure still supporting the real you? And then we have the moon square Mercury, that internal tug of war between what you feel and what you think. Between heart and logic. Between silence and expression. It can feel chaotic, but it's necessary. Because without that tension, nothing changes. This isn't just cosmic poetry. This is life calling you higher. And just when you think you're being dismantled, the Sun card follows. That's how tarot works. It doesn't leave you in the dark. The Sun appears to say, yes, something is ending, but something brighter is waiting. It's not immediate. The light won't flood in until you create space for it. And you do that by being honest with yourself about what you've outgrown. Sometimes that's a job. Sometimes it's a belief. Sometimes it's a pattern of staying small so others can feel big. I've seen people break open under this transit. But I've also seen them rebuild from that openness with more beauty, truth, and purpose than they ever imagined. And Leo, you are ruled by the sun. You were never meant to live in shadow. But light only reveals itself when we stop hiding. This is your time to stop hiding. Not in a loud, performative way. But in a quiet, deeply personal choice to choose yourself. Fully. Without apology. So if you've been feeling a strange grief lately for a version of you that doesn't quite fit anymore, it's okay. That grief is sacred. It means you're evolving. You're not broken. You're blooming. Write this down somewhere. Let it anchor in, I release who I thought I had to be, and I make space for who I truly am becoming. Because the moment you say yes to that, the entire universe moves with you. By the time truth arrives and the old self is laid down, something unexpected happens, not loud, not dramatic, but deeply felt. It shows up in the quiet after the storm, in the stillness that follows the breakdown. That's when you begin to notice something rising inside you that wasn't there before, or maybe it always was, but you hadn't let yourself feel it. That something is grace. And Leo, in today's reading, it takes the form of the Ace of Cups. This card is like a sacred pause. It shows up after the intensity of the Tower, after the emotional reckoning of judgment, after the ego-shedding invitation from death. And when it appears, it doesn't come as a reward for surviving, it comes as a reminder of what was always available to you when you made space for it: emotional renewal. The Ace of Cups is the open heart. It's the beginning of deeper love, not just romantic, but self-love, spiritual alignment, and emotional clarity that can only rise once the walls have come down. I know tears don't always feel like healing. Sometimes they come with confusion or grief. But in energy work and in life, tears are often the release that makes room for joy. They wash away the residue of false stories, of expectations you never agreed to, of weight you didn't realize you were still carrying. So if you find yourself crying today, whether it's from exhaustion, relief, or something you can't even name. Let it happen. That's not weakness. That's the soul clearing the way for the next chapter. And here's where the beauty of this energy really comes alive. Once you've let go of the heaviness, something begins to move toward you. I've seen this happen again and again. A phone call you didn't expect. A message from someone you thought you'd lost. An apology that heals more than you ever admitted it hurt. Or sometimes, an opportunity you thought had long passed suddenly reappears, but now you're ready for it in a way you weren't before. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. When your energy clears, when your heart softens, the world responds. What once felt blocked now flows. And it's not because you forced it. It's because you finally stopped forcing yourself to carry what you didn't need anymore. Even more important than external breakthroughs is this: the reconnection with your own soul. That's what Ace of Cups offers at its deepest level. It's the moment you feel your own presence again, not your performance, not your survival instinct, but the part of you that's calm, powerful, and whole. You might even hear yourself think more clearly. You might feel your body breathe differently. You might look in the mirror and for the first time in a long time, see someone who feels familiar but more real than ever before. This is the gift inside the pain. This is the light that follows the letting go. And Leo, this is where your real strength begins, not in how hard you push, but in how deeply you feel. This is how you rise now, not armored, not distant, but open. So ask yourself, what would it mean if everything you thought you lost was actually being reshaped to return to you in a better form? What if those tears today are the exact thing that softens your heart just enough for that miracle to finally land? Take a breath and let that in. And when you're ready, write this somewhere you'll see it again: I allow my tears to heal me. I open my heart to what's meant for me. Because what's coming next doesn't require the old version of you, only the truest one. There are moments when life slows down just enough for you to notice something deeper at work, a warmth you can't explain, a message that arrives out of nowhere, a dream that feels more like memory than imagination. And sometimes, you don't even know why you suddenly feel a wave of peace or emotion that seems to rise from nowhere. That's not coincidence. That's connection. Leo, this is where we move beyond logic, beyond reason, and into resonance, into the realm where energy speaks louder than words. In the space we've been moving through together, after the truth, after the shedding, after the tears, you're now standing in a place of openness. And that's exactly when the support around you becomes more active. I'm not talking about something abstract. I'm talking about the very real experience of being held by energy, by history, by something older and wiser that's walked with you even when you didn't know it. The image I keep seeing for you is one of a circle, a ring of light surrounding your journey. In my practice, I've come to recognize this as the presence of what many call soul family. These are energies, sometimes ancestral, sometimes karmic, sometimes energetic protectors that have walked beside your spirit long before this lifetime and will continue long after. You don't have to name them. You don't have to fully understand how they work. You just have to be open to the idea that you're not walking alone. The energy of 10 of Pentacles appeared in your reading, and that card is so much more than material success. It's about legacy. About spiritual inheritance. It's the feeling of standing on the shoulders of those who came before you, not just blood relatives, but energetic allies who are invested in your growth. It's the message that says, you're safe now. You're supported. Keep going. And this is where things get real. Because when you allow yourself to trust that you're protected not in some magical way that keeps hard things from happening, but in the deeper sense of always having access to guidance, something shifts in how you move through the world. You become less reactive, more centered. You start to feel the difference between fear and intuition. And when that shift happens, you begin to hear things differently. A lyric from a song hits you like a truth bomb. A passing comment from a stranger lights up your whole body. A line in a book feels like it was written just for you. These are not random. These are signals. I've watched people reclaim their peace, their courage, their clarity simply by allowing themselves to be more present with these subtle signs. But to notice them, you have to slow down. You have to create space not for answers, but for awareness. And that's what this moment is asking of you now. If you've been dreaming more vividly than usual, pay attention. If you've been feeling sudden waves of emotion without a clear trigger, let them move through you. If a song starts playing and the words seem to hit a little too close, lean in. That's how your guidance speaks. Not always with dramatic signs, but with quiet, consistent reminders that you are seen and you are being led. You don't have to chase these moments. Just open to them. You don't need to perform for them. Just be honest with where you are. Say it out loud if you need to. Or write it down. I am ready to receive the guidance that is already here for me. Because it is. And it always has been. This is not the end of your journey. This is the part where the light catches up to you and reminds you that you've never truly been alone. Today is not just a day on the calendar, it's a threshold. And if you've stayed with me until now, it means something deep within you has already answered the call. Maybe you don't feel ready. Maybe you're still unsure about what's coming. But the truth is, readiness isn't about having it all figured out. It's about choosing to show up. And by being here, listening, feeling, reflecting, you've already said yes to something bigger than fear. You've said yes to growth. Leo, I know this journey hasn't been easy. And I also know that today, something inside you stirred. You may not fully understand what's changing, but you can feel it, can't you? That shift. That quiet knowing. It's not coincidence. It's the moment your soul recognizes that the truth you've been avoiding is no longer something to fear, it's something to welcome. So now, I invite you to respond. Not with perfection. Just with presence. Write this in the comments below to anchor your energy and connect with others who are walking this path. I'm ready to know what I haven't known until now. And while you're there, tell me what part of this message moved you the most? What truth are you ready to face? Can you feel that something has already begun to shift within you? Let's build this space together, not just as viewers, but as a community. And if you feel this message was meant for you or might be meant for someone you care about, share it with them. You never know whose heart might need this kind of reminder today. Don't forget to subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness, and turn on notifications so you never miss these energy check-ins. Every like, every comment, every share, it's not just support for this channel. It's fuel for this light we're building together. Now let's bring it down to earth with something practical. Today, more than ever, take gentle care of yourself. Drink plenty of water, your emotional body is detoxing. Lay off caffeine if you can, and consider magnesium to soothe your nervous system. A simple 20-minute walk in natural sunlight can help your soul breathe more deeply. Let nature hold you while you shift. In your work life, if there's a nudge to revise your resume, reach out to someone, or revisit something that once seemed closed, follow it. These are not random urges. They're divine timing in action. Financially, today isn't a day to rush. Sit with your decisions. Let clarity catch up to your intuition. Jot down 3 habits around money you're ready to change, not for control, but for freedom. And in love? Speak from the heart. Say what you've been holding in. If someone new has entered your orbit, listen beyond their words. Souls recognize each other long before hearts do. Leo, I know you might cry today. But let those tears be the rain that waters your rebirth. You're not breaking your awakening. You didn't know what was coming. But now, you're starting to see. And when you see, you'll never look at yourself the same way again. I'm honored to walk beside you on this day. You're not alone. You're protected, guided, and deeply loved. Step through the gate of November 22nd with trust. What's waiting on the other side is already yours.